I am here with me is Dr. Himali Patel, and we are going to talk about some common myths busted about pregnancy. We all know and we all hear about a few and different things, and some things which have been coming from our traditions. Some have a scientific base, others are just affirmations. Well, to discuss more on this, Dr. Himali will be helping us to solve and resolve the queries asked by moms at the Baby Chakra community. Dr. Himali, how are you doing today?
Hi, a very good afternoon to you and everyone present here. First of all, I'd like to extend gratitude to Baby Chakra for having me over, and I hope I can help.
Definitely. Dr. Himali, can you tell me something about yourself, please?
Um, so basically, I'm from Bombay, married and settled in Ahmedabad, and I have done my medical education in Pune. Now we are running our own setup. We have three centers, one in Bhopal, Ahmedabad, one in Botad, and one in Sabarmati area in Ahmedabad itself. We have an entire women's hospital with an IVF center. And in Botad, we have an exclusive IVF center. So we are infertility specialists, me, my husband, and my father-in-law, my sister. So coincidentally, all of us are gynecologists. So we have a good team. And we extend back-end support to almost 15 IVF centers across Gujarat and Rajasthan.
Wow, that I mean, when the family works together and helps everybody together in the society, it will definitely be of great help. Well,
Yes.
doctor, to begin with, when we are speaking about expecting moms, there is confusion, there are some doubts, there is some hear and say. So let us crack all these things today on our chat.
Sure.
I would like to ask you in the first hear and say coming in that is it okay to consume a glass of wine during pregnancy? Because in our Indian society, women, follow the tradition methods, but now modernization has helped us to go beyond the limits. So, in this way, how would you like to help any moms over here?
No research studies have ever said that alcohol is safe during pregnancy. So not even in the form of wine or not even in form of beer, people come and say, "Ek glass to chalega." It's not like that. No research studies have ever said that alcohol is safe. So definitely it's a big no-no. Smoking and alcohol both.
Right. And when we congratulate an expecting mom, we say her, that now you're expecting, now you have to eat for two people. Is it a correct way to, address this thing? I mean, it's such a confusion and people are like zapped, they are surprised. So what is your take on this?
No, definitely. This is a very big myth, which is across, it's going across generations. Everyone keeps saying we have to eat for two. Abhi to main, I have an entire life inside of me. But it's absolutely not true. Uh, the calorie intake, if we go to see in the first trimester, is 1800 calories. And if we talk about second trimester, it'll go to 2000 and then 2200 calories per day. You might be knowing better, being a nutritionist. So definitely, it's almost the same, except for the fact that probably towards the end, so towards the third trimester, if we are taking about 200 calories extra, rather than the daily requirement, that is it. That is the only recommended intake.
Right.
Because towards the end, growth is maximum. So if you are having more calorie intake towards the end, you definitely will, your baby will gain more weight. But does not mean that you start eating from the beginning and you don't need to hog. Otherwise, too much weight gain also causes a lot of issues.
Right. And with this, when eating is concerned, there are myths, whether to have pineapple, whether to have papaya, or, whether to have raw papaya. So, can you help us on to break this myth out
Yes,
of here?
definitely. So, you know, even in Gujarati here they say garam padta hai. Hindi mein they say garam padta hai. So this is a very big thing. Definitely, it has some significant indication because papaya, if we say per se, a very ripe papaya is actually safe,
Acha.
but unripe or semi-ripe is not at all safe.
Okay.
But on an entirely different solution, different scientific background, if we go to see, papaya has latex, which is actually not considered safe during pregnancy.
Okay.
So overall, definitely we would say it can be, an abortifacient like Ayurveda says. So we can go on to say papaya, pineapple, those things are definitely avoided, especially during the first trimester.
Right. And how about the caffeine and the tannin content, tea and coffee? Because most moms start their day with a hot cup of any beverage,
Yes.
and to have a peaceful day, basically.
So,
So
caffeine in excess amounts will cause vasoconstriction, and then
okay,
that causes low birth weight and, those problems. But if you're having in moderation, say about less than 200 milligrams a day, then that should work. So, and if you're a mild coffee lover like me, then I think you should be okay doing just a cup of coffee a day. That should be fine.
right. But doctor, I would like to also ask you, a few people prefer to have a very different kind of a routine or a lifestyle. Some are having their in-laws staying with them, some are not having their in-laws, or they keep pets, just to have accompany them. So is it safe to have pets around when you are an expecting mom?
So if we go to say scientifically, cats, they say causes the cat feces that can cause toxoplasmosis. So even if you are having a cat, just stroking a cat is not going to give you any sort of infections. But in case you are in case you are actually dealing with the feces and throwing it away and going to litter boxes and all, that is not supposed to be, that is not allowed. That should, you should be away from that.
Okay. And when it comes to your extended family support, whether it's your mother or mother-in-law, they keep on telling us, ये नहीं करना चाहिए, वो नहीं करना चाहिए, especially dyeing, coloring your hair during pregnancy, or not allowing to step out on the day of full moon or new moon. तो इस ये सब myths को हम लोग कैसे समझा सकते हैं कि and how
See,
can we avoid this
there is a
controversy?
very big thing. Whenever I tell my to be mothers, I always say that you should respect your elders, but at the same time, you should have some scientific, uh, proven thing to be able to, go in with what you're doing. So
Okay.
ideally, following elders is just a part of respect that you're paying to them, but at the same time, you should have some scientific basis. So, best would be if you go to your healthcare provider, ask them, and take your mother-in-law or mother along, so that
Okay.
there is no confusion, or just take a prescribed plan. This is allowed, this is not allowed. So then you have something to show to them that okay, this is not going to work or this is going to work. If we talk about dyes, hair dyeing, so then there are no absolute studies to be saying that ammonia and parabens. So parabens, they do say that causes increased birth weight, so that
Okay.
causes some problems in pregnancy. Ammonia
Okay.
also has some effects, but there are no particular proven studies to be saying that. But we should avoid all chemicals and toxins, so definitely hair dyeing in pregnancy. But if it's just on the hair and not on the roots and not the scalp, then I think it should be okay if you're using an ammonia free and a paraben free dye.
Right. Or right now we have been getting a lot of myths which the users are asking us, and I'm going to take one by one in our
All right,
conversation. Abhi.
all right, all right.
With this, hair dyeing part of it, there was one more myth which is coming in. Ki, can I sleep on the left side of during my pregnancy, or do I sleep on my right side of the pregnancy? I am not able to understand. So, can you help a mom over here?
This is a very common question actually, and sleeping positions. So till, let's say, about sixth or seventh month of pregnancy, a sleeping position does not really matter that much, because the weight is not that much, and at the same time the fetus also keeps continuously moving.
ठीक
But
है.
after the seventh month, it kind of attains a position because there is not enough space to be moving that much. So the
Okay.
entire rotation, is very less. The limbs keep moving, but the entire back moving from one side to the other and all that has become very less. Now, when you are sleeping on your right, the baby also tends to go on that side, and then it compresses the aorta and the vena cava, which is the main blood supply to the entire body. So then, if that is a little restricted, then definitely the blood flow to the baby indirectly is a little lesser. So the
Acha.
birth weight kind of decreases, the nutritional nutrients going to the baby that decrease. So
Acha.
if the mother to be is sleeping on the left, then the entire baby goes on that side, and then the blood flow is good, and studies have proven that that gives a good outcome.
Wow, got
Even,
to know.
and that causes a good oxygen level to the baby as well.
Right. और एक है कि if I sit for a very long time, I'm going to have a breech baby. Is this correct?
That is absolutely not true. Absolutely not true, because the pelvic area in every female is different. The accommodation of the baby is very different in every person, and the position of the baby is not going to depend on your position or your sitting hours. Not at all. Absolutely not.
Right.
Baby
And
keeps moving, and if the baby is going to get space in the pelvic area and the head is going to go down, it will go down.
and a very funny expression of thought which most of us have done. I mean, those who are moms, they must have experienced this, but those who are new moms, new to be moms, they must be experiencing this. The size of the belly stating the
Yes.
gender. Does it state the gender? you know when a mother is around, उसकी गोद भराई चल रही है, या they're planning to have a baby shower, and you look at the size of the belly and say हाँ लड़का होगा, हाँ या लड़की होगी. I mean, that is all a gimmick, I know, but what is the scientific thing behind this? I mean, how true is this?
It's absolutely, a grandmama's thing that goes on from ages that they guess. But I
Okay.
think it does not hold any significance, because the belly is going to protrude with the strength and the weakness of your abdominal muscles.
Acha.
So more the lax your abdominal muscles, more the baby is going to go down. And more if you have a good tone, you've exercised well and your muscles are in good tone, then they are going to keep it stronger, and the baby is going to protrude more in the front side rather than just, swooping down. So definitely that is the science behind it. Even if you go to see, if a first pregnant mother tummy and multi-paras woman who has delivered 3 kids, the tummies are going to change. Now, does that mean the sex has changed? No,
No.
maybe she's having two females or two males only, but the tummies are different in both the pregnancies.
Right. And one more thing is very interesting, which I wanted to ask you, ki yoga. I mean, there are health freaks, there are fitness freaks, even in during pregnancy. So does yoga help in inducing labor? That is very big myth and a challenge which everybody faces. So
In
what is
fact,
your take on this?
in fact, yoga will help you in alleviating all the pain during labor, because your muscles are already used to the exercise and the kind of positions that is why there is something called prenatal yoga, in which we do in our hospital as well.
Right.
Mothers are trained to be, practicing lamas, the breathing techniques, how to hold the breath, and how to exercise. We do duck walk and butterfly exercises towards the end. So all that is going to kind of give a good passage for the baby to be able to pass through, and I think yoga really helps in delivering normally,
Okay.
with
That's
less
nice.
amount of pain than a mother who is not doing yoga.
Absolutely, absolutely true. And when we are talking about yoga, Lamas classes are there, where there are fathers also getting involved in all these things.
Yes,
I
yes.
think definitely it will be very helpful for everybody. But
Yeah.
when I wanted to talk about one thing in particular, that are there any ways in predicting the date of delivery? Now, what happens? There is this Chinese calendar, there is other New Year's calendar, and then the gynecologist tells EDD, I mean the expected due date.
Yes.
Plus, we have so many search engines on Google. So, and every scan also tells us, I get so many queries कि मैम हमारा
Exactly,
लास्ट
you did, yeah.
में ये रिपोर्ट ये डेट था, अभी ये डेट हो गया. So this is also my question, then is there any way to predict the expected due date? यहाँ पे
Okay, so now
क्या.
let me clarify this for everyone. See, there is the calculation that goes from the last period date. So we do
Yes.
a 9 month and 7 days calculation, and we give an expected date of delivery. Okay, but sometimes the growth of the baby is not as per the last menstrual date. If you have conceived late, then your first trimester sonography is going to show a different expected date of delivery. If you really want an accuracy, you should follow the first scan expected date of delivery as the most accurate date, where the cardiac activity was detected in the first sonography. That EDD, which is by the ultrasound, that is the most accurate. Now, even if we talk about accuracy, that is the date for the delivery. Does not mean that mothers will deliver on that date. Only 4% deliver on that date.
Right.
Even if we give a date, it's only 4%. Generally, about 80-90% will deliver, say, about 15 days or a week prior, and hardly a few after that date.
Yes, absolutely. So it's always, to keep some buffer time with you and help yourself.
If you go for a regular antenatal checkup, especially in the last trimester, we do a weekly check. So definitely the gynecologist is going to be able to tell you whether you are probably going to go into labor this week or not.
Right,
And
right.
there are tests that detect that the baby is doing well or not. So there is something called NST that we do towards the end, non-stress last
Mhm.
trimester. So that also gives us a judgment whether the baby is doing well inside or not.
Right. And last but not the least, there is a common myth which is involving intimacy. So can the partners, I mean, can the couple have sex during pregnancy? Right? There are a few couples who would like to start with intimacy from the first trimester, go on up till the ninth month or the last trimester. So I have been getting a lot of queries on the Baby Chakra app as well, sir. Is it okay? Is it, what should I do? So what is your can you help us, our moms over here, on this?
Okay, see, first of all, sex during pregnancy is safe. You can't say it's unsafe. But of course, exploring different positions, let me be, a little open about it. I'm sorry, but yeah, if you're exploring different positions and all, definitely you are in trouble. Now, first trimester is the first 12 weeks. It's a little crucial because there are maximum chances of a patient aborting. So
Right.
first 12 weeks we will tell them to be a little, you know on the lower side, and if you can avoid, best avoid it. But if you can't, of course 12 weeks is too long a period, so we just tell them to be a little careful
Okay.
towards the end. So the middle trimester, the second trimester, that is a honeymoon period. You can enjoy.
Yes.
Okay. But the last trimester, if you are having too many orgasms and stuff, it can introduce uterine contractions. So
Okay.
then you can go into preterm labor if you're not full term. But
Okay.
otherwise, overall, you can enjoy. There is no problem. The partner's part is not going to directly touch the uterus or something, so there is no direct risk involved.
Direct risk involved. Okay. Dr. Himali, this brings us to the end of our session today. It was lovely having this conversation. But with this, before we conclude, can we have a quick roundup of a summary or a takeaway message for understanding the common myths that we have bursted during our about the pregnancy today?
So I hope you guys have heard me, and I don't really need to repeat everything. But I just wanted to say, so I just want to say that before you jump to conclusions, ask your healthcare provider the silliest of the things. Even if it's very silly, you think I should not be asking, you can openly ask, and you can openly ask me also. I'm available on Instagram, on Facebook, Dr. Himali Maniar. So you can put forward your questions, and you know don't directly jump to conclusions just because of hearsay or just because somebody has told you. People start saying that if I'll do this, I'll bleed and stuff like that. They get scared, so that should not be happening. So there are foods that you have to avoid, but there are definitely great foods, superfoods, which you should be taking, and a guided nutritionist can help you out with that.
Yes.
Pregnancy is very multifaceted. It's not only visiting your gynec and it's over. Whatever you're thinking, whatever you're exercising, whatever you're taking in, everything, everything helps. So, and everything works. So that's why there's something called Garbh Sanskar. So that should, you should be taking care of the entire pregnancy in an all-round approach with your mental and physical being. And some myths that we spoke about, Dr. Pooja, I think you only can tell me better about it. Uh,
Well,
that,
we did have a deep discussion into this, and I'm very happy that I had a nice conversation with Dr. Himali
that,
because she spared her valuable time. She joined us for this fun-filled session. Yes, it was very scientific approach. The approach was very scientific, but we did have it in a very nice conversational way. So thank you, Dr. Himali. And one more
pleasure
thing,
is all.
and one more thing, what we came across is that we had so many small queries which Dr. Himali could take it up. We were constantly using the app and asking. We had these questions from the app as well. We had the moms commenting on during our live. So it was all round session, I believe, and we could deliver the best. And if you want to get in touch with Dr. Himali, definitely she's available on the app. Directly reach out to her, ask your queries, and she'll be helping you in your pregnancy.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pooja. You have been a very warm host, and it was a pleasure talking to you. And thank you for having me on Baby Chakra.
Yeah, the pleasure is all mine. So, to all the mothers out at the Baby Chakra community, please download the app, get in touch with me, Dr. Pooja, or Dr. Himali. If you have any pregnancy related queries, nutrition related queries, we are there to help you out. Thank you for joining us on this session.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Have a lovely day.